Hello, we're glad to have you with us once again on NN24's The Business. I am Bimbo, Awoyele. Now on tonight's edition, reports from Abuja says a presidential advisory panel has urged Nigeria's government to reduce its recurrent spending. According to Bloomberg, the panel advises a 40% reduction in recurrent expenditure and a reduction in budget deficit to 30% of GDP. In the report presented to President Goodluck Jonathan, salaries and allowances of elected officials and legislators are also expected to be slashed. The report says the panel also criticized the depletion of an account in which revenue is saved from crude oil sales. Reports from the Compass says the central bank is displeased with the 1% interest rate paid on savings by deposit money banks, while they charge as much as 20% on loans. The report says the central bank governor Lamido Sanusi expressed his displeasure after the monetary policy meeting held earlier in the week. Lamido says the practice of low interest on savings, quote, poses a major disintermediation risk and is inconsistent with developmental goals of financial inclusion. And moving on to the oil sector, Business Week reports that Dutch lawmakers are quizzing executives of Royal Dutch Shell over their much criticized operations in Nigeria. Accusations leveled against the drilling company at The Hague include abuse of human rights, failing to clean up oil spills, and continuing the hazardous practice of flaring gas from about 100 wells. In its defense, Shell is putting the blame on sabotage and an ineffective government. An African representative of the company says the oil giant compensates residents for pollution caused by faulty production. The rep, however, adds that paying for damages arising from exploded pipelines would provide a perverse incentive for more militant violence. Now we move to the Middle East, and specifically to Lebanon, whose economy may be in danger. And this could be because politicians are struggling to form a new government.
Please, Nick, come in.
Thank you. That's an amazing view.
Yes, this is one of our tower buildings.
I'm getting a look at a side of Beirut that rarely makes the headlines.
It's a little bit foggy, but you can see the snow, you can see the new phase 2 of Solidaire coming in, and this is the marina. So this is really unique locations.
Booming development on the city's Civil War bomb sites. This one, a top-end apartment overlooking the Mediterranean. How much would you sell it to me for?
Sell it to you?
Yes.
For nothing.
Just a joke. Real price, $8 million. And although I'll never be one of them, no shortage of buyers, until the government began to fall apart. So in the last 10 days, has your phone rung less?
It rung less, but we're confident and we're still doing projects.
Danny Karat has the easy charm of realtors worldwide, and with good reason. Over the past decade, Beirut's been a buoyant market with healthy margins. But even this seasoned optimist is worried about today's political divisions.
Really, today you're coming at a very critical time. But if you come, let's say, within a month and a half, you will find our phone ringings, you will find we're going back to normal life.
You don't have to go far from these new constructions to get an idea of what's at stake here in Lebanon. Look up there, that's the old Holiday Inn Hotel. It bears all the scars of 15 years of civil war. Veteran banker Francois Basel made money those years. His fear in the current crisis, not the fighting, but the political vacuum.
The state can't continue. They have a big problem. A huge amounts of debt maturing this year.
Almost $16 billion, and no government to take decisions. How long can it last before the economy starts to go into freefall?
Frankly, we don't know. Frankly, we don't know. We are hoping to happen something.
That's something, building a new government, and fast.
And reports reaching us from Ivory Coast suggest that smuggling of cocoa beans out of the West African country into Ghana is on the rise. Illicit trade in the highly demanded cash crop increased after presidential claimant Alassane Ouattara called for a ban on exports in a bid to starve the incumbent Laurent Gbagbo of revenues. Although the overall amount of contraband cocoa crossing into Ivory Coast's eastern neighbor was hard to establish, farmers in border regions cited evidence of increased activity. According to Reuters, industry sources say many exporters continue to buy cocoa without actually registering it for export. And we'll go on a break at this moment, but the business will resume shortly right after this. Do stay with us.